Now you are in a Bristol City jersey there, but you were actually at Aston Villa, right?
As a kid, yeah. So I was at Aston Villa for about 5 years, up until teenager sort of age.
Like the late 90s at Aston Villa actually was like quite an interesting period.
Yeah.
Players like Dion Dublin, and were you too young to remember any of that, or did you have any interaction with them?
A little bit. Like we had like Lee Hendry and
Dion Dublin, Southgate, and Merson.
No, it was a great experience to be part of such a massive club, and like I said, they're sort of names that when you were young coming through. I wasn't an Aston Villa fan as such, but you sort of follow Villa then as part of your team. That's your first academy. So
they're pretty strong academy there at Bristol City and pretty well renowned. And did you play with players like Bobby Reid and people who are in the Premier League nowadays? Joe Bryan, isn't it?
Yeah. So Joe and Bobby were a little bit younger than me. Joe was a few years younger. Bobby was only 2 years younger, maybe. But we actually made our home debut the same day, I think, me and Bobby. But Joe was a couple of years younger again, and he was a tiny little lad who used to come through, but he was sort of putting himself about in training when he was so small. But then he's over the last couple of years, his physique and how he's transformed his body is unbelievable. He's a Premier League athlete now. Bobby's obviously got the ability of a Premier League player, which we can all see.
David James was there around the same time as you,
and he used to drive in a van. Some days, like a little Del Boy van. He came in some of the strangest clothes I've ever seen. He was actually really, really good to me. Got on well with him. He sort of made an effort to be nice to me and the young lads.
Were you disappointed not to break into the team for a good spell there, to eventually have to move on, considering you were there for such a long period?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we probably 2 years of sitting on the bench really, and it was at the beginning you're just buzzing to be a part of it and be involved. And as you get older and you want to play games and you realise that you need to be playing. It was Bristol City would then loan in a right back who was only a young lad at my age, but from a higher team, and then their reasons would be that I hadn't had the experience to play, and then that's when you get frustrated because you feel like we're on the same level field. You know,
yeah.
I've gone out and got experience. He's coming here for experience. So I love my time there. Played under some brilliant managers, played with some unbelievable players.
Next up, onto your next FUT item here. Now you're at Yeovil Town.
Yeovil was unbelievable. Probably before Plymouth was the best time I've had in football. It was a small club, but full of great people, and we achieved something that they've never achieved in their whole history. So we had a couple of relegations where one from the Championship was obviously probably inevitable with the budget and everything we had.
Yeah, in your first season there, you got the promotion to the Championship and then won the playoff final at Wembley. How difficult was the switch in quality to the Championship? Was that a really tough slog of a season?
It wasn't actually. No, I really enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favourite seasons. The players we had, if we had that team now in the Championship, we'd be probably challenging to get promoted. The players we had then were at almost everyone's first loan. So we had Wayne Hennessy in goal, who was a Premier League goalkeeper, Luke Ayling at right back, who's a Premier League player, Shane Duffy, who's a Premier League international player. We had Joe Rawls, played in the Premier League. Tom Lawrence played for Man United, played with some unbelievable players, and we played against some fantastic teams. The Leicester team that won the Premier League was there that year. With near enough the same squad.
Like you said, you got Yeovil, you got relegated from the Championship, but then got relegated again.
Yeah, we had a lot of loans at Yeovil, and a few young lads who come in and went out, and maybe we could have gone for a little bit more experience in terms of when we probably were inevitably going to get relegated from the Championship to really have a good League One team to go again that year, and that was frustrating. And like I said, probably one of the worst seasons I've had as a player.
Okay, on to the next one. Back to left wing back on this one here at Walsall. How did you find your time there? You've improved again, shooting wise, pace wise,
picture wise. Yeah, it's got a little bit better. Left wing back, so that's interesting. It comes up as left wing back. That's probably because I had my best spell at left wing back. Walsall was good. Met some of my closest friends in football at Walsall. We had a good couple of years, and when I was probably playing the best football of my career, I had a really serious knee injury, which really put a big downer and sort of changed my career completely, really. So there's lots of good things to look at Walsall, and then a tinge of sadness as well.
What is it like for a player recovering from an injury like that? Do you feel kind of isolated from the squad a little bit, or are you still in?
Yeah, you do. I made a conscious effort to really be around the squad as much as I could. Did my sort of extra stuff once the players had gone home, or when they weren't around, so I wasn't missing that sort of camaraderie, because that's probably for me the biggest thing I enjoy in football is being around the lads. So you have hours on end where you're not with anyone and you're working on your own, and mine went over the summer period, so I was in sort of all the summer when the boys were off on holiday and things like that. So it does get hard, but it's one of them you just got to concentrate on getting back to where you know you can be. And
okay, and on to your final FUT item.
The top one, pace.
Pace, yeah.
Our pace is my highest thing. I'll never know. If you did this on another one, the boys would lose the slowest. I'd be getting the slowest.
Really? Do you think they've got that one wrong?
Well, no, obviously not. It's brilliant, but I wouldn't have put that as my my highest attribute. Definitely not. Back in the West Country now as well. Do you find yourself gravitating back towards that way? Always wanted to be around sort of this area. Got a lot of friends and family who are down this way, like I said, in the southwest. And when an opportunity like Plymouth comes up, it's too hard to turn down. Like I said, it's a fantastic club. When we're in League Two, it's definitely where it shouldn't have been. Do you know what I mean? It's a sleeping giant in terms of the size of it. So
you mentioned Ryan Lowe earlier. I think you were his first signing, actually.
Got a great relationship with him and Stephen Schumacher, the assistant there. I think they'll definitely go to top in terms of coaching and managing. But as a person, they're second to none. Do you know what I mean? You trust them, and you know you can rely on them if you need anything. I think the fans are a bit disappointed. They were expecting Danny Mayer to be the number one signing, and I remember the tweet going out, and it was me. And I think there was a little bit of a not quite Danny Mayer, but he did sign a couple of days later. I see. I always wind him up and say I was his first signing. So
there's a young player called Luke Jeffcott, a young Welsh striker at the club, who's shown a lot of promise. Do you see him going on to pretty big things?
Yeah, definitely. Jeff is a top lad. He's done unbelievable this season in terms of his goals, and like I said, he came in at a stage last year where we really needed the striker to take control and be our man, really. And like I said, he was out on loan in non-league and out of the game, if you like, and he came back in January. Fair play to the gaffer, he gave his opportunity, and like I said, fair play to Luke, he absolutely took it, got himself an international call up, and like I said, you can really see him progress and go to the highest level.
Sounds like there's a positive attitude at the club. Would you say there's a good atmosphere now?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, we've got a great bunch of lads. Quite a young squad, quite inexperienced at the moment. So we're still learning, which can sometimes look how it goes on a pitch with the inconsistency that we have at times. Like I said, we've got an exciting time here that we hope to get back where we really want to be. And like I said, we've got all the sort of stuff in place to do so. So we just need to perform on the pitch.